What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and I'm joined with
Gersh1.
And today we're back to answer your questions in another For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question. Ooh, excuse me, because we get to those questions first. And that is what nobody did. We're just going to talk about our thoughts on the new Psychic Awakening videos and the whole gist behind it. So, as you guys have probably already seen in the Warhammer TV, the Psychic Awakening is like a series that they've been putting out little by little, and they're basically explaining, or they're using it as a way to introduce new models.
Right.
And Eldar have been getting a lot of love. If you guys haven't checked out the latest model release, and it is the Dark Eldar.
Drazar, Master of Blades.
So what I think is going to happen, because if you watch that one like little short 2-minute video where the navigator or whatever psychic person is doing, like he's communicating with a Harlequin. It looks like a Harlequin. And then the Harlequin basically tells him that there's a phoenix that's going to rise and then fall. So from that, he or she says, we can't depend on the Eldar, like in the coming wars, so we have to kind of figure it out on our own. So the next Primarch to be released, I don't think is going to be tied at all to the Eldar like Guilliman was. Mm-hmm. And the reason I said Sanguinius is because I really do think that Sanguinius is going to come out. And the Phoenix falling, I feel like it's going to be a Demon Primarch, Fulgrim, coming back.
That would be really badass. Because what I expect from this Psychic Awakening is, since they're showing all this Eldari stuff, we're going to get the Phoenix Lords all released, all have new plastic models. And then after that, there's going to be a whole campaign focusing against Fulgrim, and Fulgrim's going to kill all the Phoenix Lords.
Yeah. And the reason for that is because the Fulgrim was known as the Phoenician, something like that. So I think it's all tied somehow.
And not just that, but he is a follower of Slaanesh. Yeah. And Slaanesh obviously is all about eating Eldari souls.
So will it come out during Christmas? Hopefully. It would be awesome just to get a Fulgrim model by Christmas.
It's the beginning of October. We got, 2 months till Christmas is...
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's fun to think about, but also I do think that like Fulgrim will disappear, or Fulgrim will have to be defeated by bringing in a Loyalist Primarch, which would be...
But I mean, if Fulgrim's back, Guilliman can finally have his rematch. After all, Fulgrim was the one who sliced his throat with the poison blade.
It's true.
Putting him in stasis.
Yeah, I really hope that they don't do that though. I hope that like they actually bring out a Loyalist, and they don't just make Fulgrim fight Guilliman, a model that we already have that looks kind of goofy.
Yeah, but I mean, I could see it happening, like Fulgrim, because it'll be like this. The way I see it is the Phoenix Lord is going to be fighting Fulgrim and all his forces. Eldar is going to be losing. Guilliman comes in to save them, just how they saved him previous, or brought him back, whatever you want to call it. However, even then, Fulgrim is still going to take the upper hand, and that's when a warp tear opens up and a new Primarch emerges. Or if it is the Lion, then you see a bunch of like flagships and battleships and stuff like that, and then the Lion descends down.
That would be badass if instead, like, because come to think of it, what's his name? Sanguinius is on Baal, right? Mm-hmm. So for him to just come out of nowhere would be kind of goofy. But if a warp rift opens and one of the one of the Loyalist Primarchs that are supposed to be in the warp comes out, that'd make more sense.
Or it'd be even better if like Guilliman's fighting, he's getting his butt beat, and then Cypher appears with the sword of the Lion, and he's like, "You need this to defeat him." And then Guilliman's like, "Oh, but I've got the burning blade." And then Cypher's like, "Oh, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him." And then the camera turns around, and it's the Lion.
Yeah, there you go. GW should hire you to do little videos. I would freak out if that happened. Even though I don't really like the Lion.
Yeah, me either. But just to have a freaking Primarch be introduced.
Yeah, the whole line with the Dark Angels is kind of like, I get it.
I liked their color scheme back in 30K. It was like black and red.
Yeah.
Yeah. and then they went green, and I'm like.
Because the hoods are cool, but then I think somebody did point out that it's like, why would they be wearing hoods? Like, they're Space Marines. They have helmets. And they're wearing, like, a hood over their
helmet. It's the rule of cool.
Yeah.
You don't mess with that.
But what do you guys think? Comment down below.
Mm-hmm. Also, what do you think of the new Banshee Phoenix Lord that came out? Jane Czar, I believe.
Yeah, they're okay looking. I have a thing about Eldar that's kind of like, they're a little too, like... flamboyant looking. The models look too flamboyant, whereas I fear that if I would ever buy that stuff and I would drop it, because you know I'm going to drop it, it would just snap into a million pieces. So I would try to stay away. The new one, though, the Master of Swords guy, looks badass because of his horns.
Yeah, he's got like 2 blades.
And it seems like his structure is a little more like, I think he's doing this, right?
Yeah.
And he's kind of like down, whereas the other one is doing something like this, which sucks.
Yeah. I mean, either way, you drop a model, something's probably breaking.
That's true. Or even if you put them in a bag gently. I found that out. But yeah. So let's start off with the questions. This question comes from De Mandela Bird. He asks, whose fighting prowess do each of the factions represent most? What does that mean? Whose fighting prowess do each of the factions represent the most? I guess what faction represents what type of fighting style, I think you mean. And if that's the case, well, let's break it down. So the Necrons are supposed to be range, right? Well, I mean, no, they're all over the place.
Yeah, well, they got weapon. I feel it's range because the technology benefits more like their Gauss weaponry and stuff like that because it de-atomizes you. But up close, they have like weaponry to like cut through anything.
Oh, actually, now that I think about it, no, they are the Rebirth. Because when you think of like Magic the Gathering, you think of the pick from the graveyard type thing. So I think the Necrons represent like models that you can kill, but they can come back. So it represents that aspect of the game. And then the range guys, I think, would be the Tau.
Yeah.
The Tau are the range, and then the Eldar are speed.
You wouldn't say it's psychic? Because even though they are fast, I feel like their whole gimmick is like...
Psychic? Are the psychic cards even good?
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can do both psychic and speed. The Dark Eldar are for sure speed.
Speed, yeah.
Because they don't have any psychic. And the Harlequins are just not fun to play, so let's not talk about that.
There's only like two models, 2 units.
Psychic, I do think, is more of a Grey Knights.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, even more so, they're specifically tailored against demons.
Yeah. So they are the counter to the other psychic people would be... Do you think it would be demons or chaos? Just chaos in general?
More so demons than chaos, because chaos are kind of like Space Marines. They're like they encompass everything.
And then I think like...
Tyranids.
Right.
I feel like Tyranids and Orcs are very close. Swarmy, yeah.
Funny enough, in the lore and how they've always been played, I think Orcs have always been close combat and melee. This edition, definitely not. If you do a melee-oriented Orc army, like, you better bring a bunch of numbers, like a huge horde, because you're going to get killed. Whereas, like, with the Bad Moon's keyword, that makes them a shooty army. A really deadly shooty army.
Very devastating,
especially with rockets. You would spam rockets, but yeah. So that, and then who are we missing? We did Tau, Necron, Space Marines, Imperial Guard.
Machines?
Yeah, artillery.
Yeah,
that would be kind of like a thing.
Vehicles.
So if you guys want to start, or if you have a friend who wants to start a new army, kind of give them the gist of what we just said, depending on what they want to play.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you can kind of dip into everything else, but it won't be as streamlined or as potent as playing to their strengths.
Right.
Like, if you want to play Grey Knights as a horde army, you can't really make it happen. Just because they're so expensive point-wise. They're meant to be an elite army.
And you're going to lose this edition. But they would look nice. Next question.
This one's by Skylar Ferris. Have any named or important characters of the Imperium have defected over to the Tau Empire? No. At least not any named characters.
Oh, named characters, yeah. Yeah, you're right. There have been rogue traders, regiments. Space Marines have actually formed alliances with the Tau. Never actually like converted over.
Right.
But yeah. Next question comes from Stufer 2002. Have you ever been doxxed by a female stalker? What does doxxed mean?
If it's docking, that's when you yeah. Rick can do that one.
Yeah. Technically, then a female could not dock, or
unless you're always docking with a female.
Yeah, it depends. I don't know how the anatomy works.
All we know is that pee is stored in the balls.
Yes. Next question.
Brian B. How many cup holders are in your cars? We have the same car.
So 4.
Is it 4?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because it's 2 in the front and then 2 in the middle.
Yeah.
Yep.
I never use the ones on the doors.
Yeah, I don't think they could fit.
But they are cup holders.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're circular.
Huh. Yeah. Next question comes from Pineapple. When is the next 1 versus 1? And doing the lore and tabletop versus if they have it, it's cool. Hold on.
What?
And doing the lore and tabletop versus if they have it, it's cool. I'm guessing you're saying when's the next 1 versus you and me? We have like a month of like not being able to do anything on the weekends.
Yeah. And the weekends is where we do everything.
Yeah. So probably not until next year.
Mm-hmm. Probably not until the orcs get a nerf. Because if it's 1v1, I'm pretty sure the orcs have it.
It would be fun to do like in November to do a cool narrative battle report that probably won't come out till next year anyways. But make it so that I don't play like I don't spam rockets and I don't do like really hardcore stuff. It would be Tau versus the orcs.
But I feel like if you don't do that, then it's not a deserved win if I win.
Well, yeah, but it would look cool.
True.
We can make it look
narrative.
like we can make it look like the old school HeroClick battle reports that we used to have.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking that I'm gonna put all because I've been doing compilation videos. I want to do all the HeroClick battle reports like back to back and just posting it, just so that you guys can see how much fun we used to have with the little.
Oh yeah, I remember we would actually use like the freaking Dragon Ball Z minis and stuff.
Yeah. I was cleaning my room the other day and I found a bunch of minis. I think we have a playlist for HeroClix. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, HeroClix is a completely different game, and the channel started off as a. Well, no, it didn't really start off at that. We
did Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then that evolved to HeroClix, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering,
40K.
Yeah.
But anyways, there's a playlist.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
This one is by Nicholas Jimenez. Who's more powerful and more loyal to the Emperor between the Grey Knights and the Adeptus Custodes? The Custodes are definitely more loyal to the Emperor.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that the Grey Knights are not.
Right.
And more powerful, I still got to give it up to the Custodes.
Yep. Also, there is that whole big question mark on Kaldor Drago because he might be a Slaaneshi demon now.
Silver Knight of Slaanesh.
Yeah, so the Grey Knights might have their very first
defector.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really badass one. It's like if you're going to pick a Grey Knight to defect, please do not let it be Drago, because this guy can literally wipe the floor with anything and everything that comes his way.
Yeah. Luckily, they have restricted that lore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nothing new has come out for Drago in a long time, and I think that's because they made him way too overpowered. So.
Yeah. This question comes from Tamble Track. Since Space Marines are just a placeholder, what would be next? So yes. For all those that don't know, the history of the Emperor and his goal was first to unify Terra, and he did that by creating these things called the Thunder Warriors. And the Thunder Warriors were basically the proto Space Marines. They were as strong, but not as smart.
Mm-hmm.
Once he unified Terra, he killed the Thunder Warriors, and he came up with the Space Marines, made with the gene seed of the Primarchs. And then the Space Marines were supposed to continue on with the Great Crusade, and after the Great Crusade conquered the galaxy, he was gonna.
He wasn't conquering the galaxy. He was just trying to unify humanity.
Yeah, well, but making sure that the galaxy was in control of humanity.
True.
And then once that was over, he was going to kill off the Space Marines, or at least this is my theory. Kill off the Space Marines, kill off the Primarchs, and then they were a placeholder for the Imperial Army. The Imperial Army was supposed to be the true rulers of the... or
protectors of humanity.
Yeah.
Basically, humans protecting humans.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if he foresaw that there's other galaxies with other, like, menaces, like the Tyranids. And if that's the case, then maybe we would have had something else as a placeholder to the Space Marines, and not the Imperial Army just yet. But that never happened because the Emperor messed up on a bunch of different things. One of them being that when he created the War Master, he gave all the military power to a Primarch instead of giving it a portion of it to the...
Yeah, spreading it. But even though, like, I felt like even if power was spread amongst the Primarchs, it's still, like, they would still rally with one another and it'd still be a civil war.
Oh, yeah.
Just because Horus had all control doesn't mean it would have happened differently. It still would have happened, just, chaos.
And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. I hope you guys are enjoying our videos. Yeah.
Don't forget, we do have a giveaway going on right now. Check out the Halloween giveaway that was posted Monday, if you're watching this. And then also go onto the Facebook page, because that's a better chance to win from that giveaway. Sound Alchemist?
Gershwan.
And we are out.